Hi everyone, apa kabar? Good afternoon. My name's David Yin and I'm from Google Play. I take care of the Indonesia market as well as Australia and New Zealand markets on business development side. So before I start, I just wanted to understand how many mobile game developers are there in the room right now? 1, 2, 3, okay. How many non-game developers are here, app developers? Okay, over there. Okay, cool. So what I want to cover today is basically finding success on Google Play and some of the tools and services that Google Play has available to developers from concept, from idea, all the way to launch and post-launch as well. And also I've got an exciting announcement later on in this presentation as well. So let's get started. Okay, cool. So basically, the Google ecosystem, Google Play ecosystem is pretty massive. We've got over 1 billion monthly active users. Okay, we've got over 65 billion installs to date. Okay. And we've got over 100 direct carrier billing partners globally, which basically allows users to carry out an in-app purchase via their own carrier. Okay, so that's over 100 direct carrier billing partnerships to date. Okay, so about a year ago, we recognized that the income spending levels in emerging markets is obviously not as high as the US and Europe. So recognizing this, we announced basically sub-dollar pricing, so allowing developers to go below 99 cents US. And in some markets around Southeast Asia, for example, in Malaysia, we've gone down to 1 ringgit for minimum pricing. In Indonesia, we've got the minimum pricing down to 3,000 rupiah. Okay, and in Thailand we're down to 10 Thai baht, and over in Vietnam we're down to 6,000 dong. So this has opened up, a whole new market for developers to really attack the lower end pricing point, which is really key in these markets that we operate in, based on income levels and spend. Some clicker issues. Okay, so as I mentioned, Google Play, we're here to help developers right from start all the way to launch and also post-launch. Okay, so a developer has an idea. So throughout the stage, in step 1 with the idea, we've got available to the developer Google Play Game Services. Okay, so Google Play Game Services is all about providing leaderboard, achievements, save games, analytics. And much more as well. So, in step number 1, in terms of the idea, we're there to help you with Google Play Game Services. After the idea stage, we move on to the prototype. So at the prototype stage, we've got what we call alpha and beta testing, okay? So beta testing basically gives the developer the chance to test in real life with real users what the users think about their game or their non-game itself. Okay, so it gives the developer confidence before going live on the Google Play Store itself. Okay, in addition to that, we've also got an early access section within the Google Play Store, where basically all the beta versions of games or non-games are available through that section on the store there. Okay, so after the prototype has been figured out, developers would then soft launch. Okay, so at the soft launch stage, we have some tools available to help developers here as well around the conversion funnel. Okay, so basically, developers would need to understand how many store visitors have visited their store listing. Out of those visitors, how many have downloaded their game, and those that have downloaded, how many have bought, and also how many have repurchased down the track. So the conversion funnel gives that, those sort of insights for the developer. We also have what we call store listing experiments, okay? So store listing experiments is basically testing the look and feel of your store listing, Okay? So you can change and test different game icons. You can test the color of the character. You can change from a female warrior to a male warrior. You can test the short description on your store listing. And you test that with real users, and they will give you feedback on whether it's you know, the icon should be changed and what is the impact on installs, for example. Okay? So after soft launch, the developer would then launch to the market. And this is obviously the key part on how do you then acquire users. Okay? So you can pay for the users through user acquisition. You know, there's plenty of UA companies out there, and we've got a very strong one within Google as well. And I think my colleague Noparat's talking about UA later on. We've also got merchandising, so basically featuring on the Google Play Store. So featuring on the Google Play Store is not a secret. You know, we have featuring guidelines that is available to all developers in Indonesia, and I'm happy to share them after this session. So basically, with the featuring guidelines itself, we've got app quality guidelines that developers need to follow. We've also got best practice examples that you have to follow. And then we also focus heavily on user review ratings. So that has to be 4.0 and above before featuring can be considered. Okay? So that's on the, once you've launched, how do you acquire users? Okay, so that's with paid UA, and as well as merchandising through the Google Play Store. So once you've acquired the users, what then? Okay, so it's very important to really understand and analyze what your users are telling you. Okay, so that's through player analytics. You know, when do users churn? You know, what's the buyer conversion rate? What is the retention rate? Okay, at what stage in the game do they then purchase? So that sort of analytics is all available on Developer Console, as well as Play Game Services. And what is very critical is understanding the ratings and reviews of your users. That's really, really important. That you have to reply to 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star kind of ratings, and really address some of the bugs and the issues, and really fix them, so that your user ratings can be as high as possible. Okay. So I mentioned briefly on retention. So retention is absolutely key. Okay. So there's no point in getting 100 million installs and those users are not being retained. Okay. So as you can see from the graph here, the top 10 games have exceptionally high retention rates. So that's very, very key to understand why your users are churning and what can you do within the game itself to retain those users. Okay? You've got to really understand who the users are and who you're targeting. Okay? And within the Developer Console, we also have benchmarking analysis. So, you know, comparing to your peers, what is the sort of benchmark retention rates there? Okay? And use Google Play Game Services heavily. Obviously, you know, there are a lot of tools within Play Game Services that will help with your retention rates. We also have a player analytics report, as I mentioned. So basically, it tells developers at what stage of the game are your users churning. Okay, so that's very important to understand. When are they churning? Why are they churning? Is it because they have to buy an in-app item that is really expensive? So instead of doing that, they just leave the game. So the player analytics reports helps you make those decisions, and it's a very heavy data-driven modeling in there. As I mentioned, user ratings and reviews are very, very critical. Reply to every single one of them, because that's, you know, bug fixes, issues, and all that. So within the Google Play Developer Console, we now have the ability to summarize some of the key 1-star issues. So the 1-star issues might be graphics or lag or, you know, technical issues. And then it also summarizes what you're doing really well. So on the 5-star ratings, it might be gameplay, it might be graphics, you know, it might be quality, and so on. So use your Developer Console heavily. All these tools are in there to help you. And just yesterday, has anyone heard of the Indonesia Games Contest? So okay, so just yesterday we launched the Indonesia Games Contest on Google Play. So basically, any game developer in Indonesia is invited to submit up to 2 games per developer for the contest, okay? And it's open to the entire country. We're not looking at just the top partners or the scale partners, we're looking at everyone, okay? And so basically the contest in a nutshell, you have to have a game that has been published after the 1st of January 2016, last year, okay? What we look for is obviously focusing on quality, we're looking at localization, how well localized it is, we're looking at whether it's fun, okay? And we have a panel of judges in the first round. So once we get all these applications, the applications close on the 19th of March. Once we receive all these applications, we have external as well as internal judges going through all the games and then deciding on a short list of 15 games, okay? So we've got the CEO of Half-Brick Studios as a judge. We've got the director from Disney as a judge as well. We've got internal as well as external judges. The 15 shortlisted games, okay, will then be invited, the developers will then be invited to a final finale event around April, where we will then announce the top 3 winners, okay? So this is a pretty massive contest for Indonesia that we're carrying out for the very first time to really encourage Indonesian game developers and level the playing field so that everyone's got an equal amount of chance of winning this competition. What are the prizes? So the prizes are, as I mentioned, there'll be a special event where your games will be showcased, okay? There will be top priority placements on the Google Play Store. So the number 1 and number 2 slots together with banners, creative assets, all around there. So you got the top priority in there. You'll have a free pass to the Google Play Playtime event this year. We'll be also giving Google Play Store credits and also Google Cloud Platform credits. So there's a lot of prizes up there, plenty of prizes. So the main thing is you have to enter by the 19th of March. So the website up there, the website, that's the event website. Hop onto it. If you're keen on submitting your games, that's where you can submit. And it's limited to 2 games per developer, okay? So that's it for me. Is there any questions from the floor before I head off?
Hi, hello. Okay, so my name is Bram. So my question is, from your experience, what are the most common or typical characteristics of apps or games that has high retention rates? Thank you.
Okay. So it's a very good question. So the first thing is the quality of the game. The quality of the game or the quality of the app, okay? If you're talking about the app, you've got to ensure that the user experience and the user interface is pretty much follows what we have in terms of material design principles. So it's a beautiful looking app, the user experience is there, and you can navigate around the app very well. So that's quality is very, very key. On the gaming side, it's about, once again, it is also about quality, but it's also about the gameplay itself. Is there a viral element in the game? Okay. If you look at the game Tahu Bulat, which is very popular in Indonesia, it's got that viral element within the game itself, right? So that I've got a Tahu Bulat store and I want to compete with my friends and make the most money. So there's that competition in there. That gameplay is very very strong in terms of retention. So and also quality, as I mentioned, is very key. And the thing is, it's not a guessing game, because that's why we have the alpha testing and the beta testing, is to keep on reiterating with your users. With the beta testing, it can be 50 users, it can be 100, or you can just say anyone that downloads this Play URL link can test the game. So your users will tell you throughout the process, beta testing, whether your game is a good one or not. So that's very key product to use as well, in that sense.
Thank you for the question, David. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. No we'll give you a little token of appreciation. Stephen from GMASA', would you like to present this gift to David? And big round of applause for David Yin. Thank you so much for the interesting insight. You can always reach out to David. on his Gmail account. Yeah.
Google.com.
Google.com.
dean@google.com.
dean@google.com. Stephen, we'll give the gift to David, and we'll take selfie as part of the selfie contest. Still in GMASA 2017. Hashtag GMASA. Send in your best selfie shots for a mystery prize at the end of the summit. All right, in 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. Thank you, David.
Bye.